What's up, guys? My name is Mad Squash 924. Welcome back to another episode of Knight's Call Part 10, I believe now. Today is a day where we are getting more customers because we are poor. We need the monies for our taxi job and to pay our character's rent. Also, we have to figure out where this judge is at. So, without further ado, we will go to, I guess, the closest customer. I guess in this case is you. Let's see what you're all about. If I remember right, we tried to get this guy at one point in time, and then we got sidetracked, and I wasn't able to pick this guy up. So, yeah. This guy's name is Milo Reacher. Thought somebody was at the door. Guess not. But he needs a cab and quickly. You pull up in front of the American Embassy. You can't recall ever picking up a customer here. They probably have a fleet of their own, or a contract with a private company. The door opens. You take an immediate liking to the guy who gets in. You find him somehow reassuring, like a lost tourist. He babbles something in English. You have to listen hard to make out the address. Sorry, I'm just back in Paris. I've forgotten my manners. He flashes you a sparkling smile. His voice is tinged with a slight American accent. Yeah, not the way I gave him. You turn the key in the ignition. Thanks. What's your name, pal? You're surprised to hear him use the familiar tu form straight off the bat. Hussein. Nice to meet you, Hussein. He stared at you intently for a moment. My name is, He nods slowly, as if disheartened. If I reveal my name, I'll be left with no other choice. I'll have to kill you. He pauses, way too long to be joking. His face darkens. It's a different man on the seat behind you. And then his face creases into a grin. Hey, amigo. I'm joking. I work for the CIA, that's all. Oh, you're an undercover agent. Yeah, you could say that. Is that why your French is so good? I speak 8 other languages, too. You give a low whistle. Not bad for a Yankee, eh? He bursts into laughter. No wonder I'm a spy, eh, amigo? Silence hangs in the air. Your passenger seems to be formulating his thoughts. You married, amigo? You shake your head no. Got a girlfriend? Another negative nod. Well, that's too bad. A good-looking guy like you two all alone. What a waste. He gazes absently out the window. Americans are like that, laid back yet distant. Maybe it's the booze, amigo, but I can't get this woman out of my head tonight. Man, what a woman. I'm not going to tell you where she's from. You'll just ask a ton of questions. And if you ask a question, I'm going to have to lie to you, pal. And with you, I don't want to lie. You look like you're a chic type. I love that French expression. Chic type. A good guy. A far-off look comes over his face. So, what's the story? He clears his throat, then falls into a long silence, as if wondering where to begin. It all started in this place, in Africa. Between you and me, pal, I really like Africa. People there are more alive, serious. You just need to spend a couple weeks there. No more than that, or you'll go nuts. You clench your teeth and remain perfectly still. We were working with this minister there. Not a chic type like you. A traitor. A real son of a bitch. He stares blankly into space, wondering perhaps if he's divulging some big secret, and then continues his story. A note of bitterness has crept into his voice. Anyhow, the guy was getting difficult. We had two choices. Either convince him to see things our way, or sabotage his car. That's what makes work in Africa so easy. The cars, I mean. Every continent has its own little quirk. A way of getting things done without any trouble. In Africa, it's the cars. So I contacted the minister's family and met his wife. She was beautiful, amigo. Such a beauty. His voice has slowed, like a worn-out LP. There was this fierceness in her eyes. You know what I mean? An animal spirit. A lopsided grin spreads over his drunken face. She said she didn't like the Americans, preferred the French with their straightforward ways. She made me laugh. When someone dies in Africa, there's always a Frenchman in the picture. Either supplied the bullet, the gun, or the guy who got shot. He runs his fingers along the seams of his jeans. The material is heavy, almost coarse. She was so beautiful. He's gone off to some faraway time and place. You pull up to the address he had given you, a bar that keeps late night hours. You make out snatches of animated conversation behind the lowered rolling shutter. Well then? I loved her. His voice is tinged with sorrow and regret. A love like no other, amigo. No other. All at once, he snapped out of his funk. This bar, amigo, is run by Russians, dissidents from the Soviet era. The boss spent 10 years in the Gulag. Can you imagine? The Russians, those guys really knew how to deal with prisoners. That's where I would have sent that traitor, Snowden. And now, it's the Russians who are protecting him. He breaks off and raps at the window. I haven't heard the end of your story. My story? Well, there's not much more to tell, amigo. We loved each other. We slept together. Her husband betrayed his government and mine too. And his car hit a tree at 180 kilometers an hour. That's my story, amigo. In the heavy silence that follows, your blood runs cold. Strictly professional. He reaches into his pocket and hands you a tip. You hesitate a moment and then accept the crumbled note. As he exits the cab, he offers his parting words. There's a moral to my story, amigo. Don't ever marry a son of a bitch. He climbs out of the cab, howling with laughter. You sit there for a moment, feeling pretty dumb. Your brain is in overdrive, your stomach churning. Can you love someone and then simply forget them just like that? Hardly seems likely. There's something eating away at your client. Either that woman or something else. You start up the cab. Some tip. Okay. Do we have a customer that is a suspect? That would be ideal. If not, then we'll just pick up this guy, because he's the closest. Because we need to make that cash. His name is Carlo Caruti. He's not saying anything. Interesting. The passenger getting into your taxi is drunk. He all but trips as he's getting into the back seat, like leaving a piece of his jacket stuck in the door, as he slams it 10 times too hard. The whole street must have heard it. He tries to keep calm as he gives you his address. You start driving. But keep an eye on him, you never know. His head lolls, his eyes roll. He rummages through his pockets looking for his phone. In vain. Hey, buddy, tell me, any chance you've seen my phone? No. He looks around. What an idiot! I lost it earlier. Not here, at the bar. He starts mumbling. Or, somewhere. His eyes start to look like slits. Or, at the bar. He is silent for a minute, trying to remember something. When he starts speaking again, he moans. Oh, she's gonna kill me. You turn a corner, and he slides toward the door, hitting the window hard. Oh, fuck! Oh, that hurts. Oh, seriously, man. You okay? Yeah, no. See, my wife, she told me not to come home too late. You know, made me swear, cross my heart, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, she just had a baby. He corrects himself. We just had a baby, but you know, she's the one who carried it. We didn't find it in the streets or anything. He smirks as he imagines the scenario. It's just a little baby, but I'm so done spending my nights wiping its ass. So when my colleague invited me out, he hiccups. Well, I mean, I said, okay, like, I went with him, right? He shakes his head, disgusted. You gotta help me. I have to prepare an alibi. An alibi? He nods, sure of himself. Yeah, an alibi. An explanation for where I was tonight and, what I did. So she doesn't, you know, beat the shit out of me. He pauses. Dude, I'm serious. You gotta help me. Very well. Seriously? He bursts out laughing and attempts to clap his hands together but misses. Holy shit, awesome. Okay, first we need to start with, He blanks out and his eyes close. A few seconds later, he struggles to open his eyes. Alibi. Everything all right? Yeah, the alibi. Yeah, we gotta start by answering the main question in this case. He chuckles. I sound like a cop. He shakes his head. The main question in this case is, why didn't I call my wife, you know? That's where we need to begin. What about a work emergency? I work in the movie business for like a production company, but you know, she never buys it. Once again, his eyes start to close. His eyelids look like they weigh a ton. His voice sounds perfectly sincere. 5 years of higher education, a 250-page thesis on a Soviet film director, and now I take care of filming permits for Hollywood mega blockbusters. He sighs. You know, there are no work emergencies and nothing I do matters. He pauses. He appears to have fallen asleep, but asks, Why didn't I call my wife? You didn't have your phone. Yeah, but, like, I lost it after Your passenger opens his eyes and squeals like a child. That's it. That's it. She doesn't have to know I lost it after putting back, like, a few. You, my friend, are a genius. He claps his hands together. Okay, alright. So, how did I lose my phone? Perhaps you dropped it in the toilet. He stares at you for a while, and then laughs. That is so totally me. It's like you know me, man. Yup, splash. Phone and bowl, so perfect. He chuckles. Okay, we're good on the phone, okay? But I still need to explain why I didn't even call. I mean, she knows I know her number. I'm not sleeping, I swear. I'm, just thinking. He opens his mouth. A little burp escapes. I gotta explain why I went out with my colleagues and couldn't call her. He opens his eyes and suddenly recognizes the street. Oh fuck! We're almost there. Shit. Quick, I know. Something happened to me at the bar. That way she'll get that it wasn't my fault, right? That I had no choice? Oh shit. I've got it. He gloats, drooling a bit. I ran into someone I knew in the bar, and we had a few drinks. It was crazy, dude, just crazy. But who? A long-lost friend. He's immediately convinced. Ah, perfect. Great, I know exactly who to choose. Damien. He shakes his head quickly. Oh no, Damien works at the marketing. Daniel. An old college friend. I haven't seen him in years. I think he became like a dentomologist? Like the Tick, Spider-Man, Ant-Man. An entomologist. Yeah, that's it. Is an entomologist. Yeah, I'll tell her right into the Daniel, and that we spent the evening just talking, having a real good friend and all, you know. And then she'll be down with that, yeah. I mean, she's always telling me my friends are luscious, but Daniel, he's the real thing. And he's like trying to save endangered species. My wife will totally get into that. Okay, so we're good. I have my excuse for the phone. I have my excuse for being busy all evening. Now I just need an excuse for staying out so late. That's not enough. No, dude, not at all. I need something more solid, you know? Something that pulls the lie together, man. Lying to your wife is like a magic trick. You can't just saw the lady in half. You like have to like turn the box around too. I mean, the lady's gotta think it's funny, like, LOL, hilarious, I'm cut in half and I still can't shake my feet. His eyelids drop. I need like a strong finale. Something like, well, something, you know? He looks like he's asleep. Some weird guy started talking to you. His eyes open suddenly. Dude, you rock. He leans nonchalantly at the door, and starts an imaginary conversation with his wife. Honest to God, it was terrifying. Terrifying. Like, I was walking home since the metro was closed, and I heard footsteps behind me. Like, someone was copying my pace. I turned around and saw a shadow disappear into an alley. Since there was a serial killer on the loose, I was obviously scared. I sped up. Didn't hear anything more. I got to the entrance to our building and then I went to open the door. Heard a sort of husky breath on the back of my neck. I mean, I leapt into the lobby and pushed the door shut. Baby, all I could think about was you and the baby. I was so scared. He pauses. And then I take her in my arms. You hear that, man? You hear what a kick-ass screenwriter I make? My wife will give me like the fucking Palmy Doctor or for my performance. He imitates the sound of a screaming crowd. And the Palme d'Or is awarded to Carlo Cerruti for the lie invented with a super nice taxi driver. He lowers his voice a bit, turning into a TV anchor. And this is Carlo, 10th film this year, but it is without a doubt the finest near perfection. She'll eat it right up, like it's child's play. He slaps his thigh. It all begins with a moving opening scene, one that's already reached cult status. The main character drops his phone in the toilet at the bistro while he's having drinks. A seemingly harmless accident will take quite a toll on him. With no way to reach his wife, he normally would have just gone straight home. But alas, he got unaware of what an amazing encounter the evening would hold. He raises 3 fingers. The kind of encounter you only have like, I don't know, 3 times in a lifetime? Daniel. Your passenger puts on a very serious expression. Yeah, you remember him. An old friend who became an entomologist. Your passenger smirks and seems happy. Oh, how an evening can fly by when you're making up for lost time. You know, when the main character notices the time, it's already very late. Too late. He hurries home, misses the last metro, and notices a shadow on his tail. He's convinced the person following him has like bad intentions. Your passenger pretends to shiver in the back seat. He switches back to his regular voice. You know, my friend, it's really not bad. I think she'll go for it. He bursts out laughing. Plus, this is the kind of stuff like actually always happens to me. He taps you on the shoulder. You've almost reached the destination. The smug smile on your passenger's face annoys you. You park in front of his place. You pull up in front of your passenger's place. He pays and opens the door. Thanks for everything, man. I couldn't have done it alone. Thank you. You watch him stagger a bit as he walks away. The front entrance opens and closes. You drive away. It's okay, money. Let's see. What do we got for late night perusing? Oh, one of the customers that actually should be talked to, because he's a suspect. Let's talk to the suspect. He's the old, retired policeman, if I recall. It kind of sucks that we have to go so freaking far, but it should be fine. You were driving alone when a strange burnt smell suddenly fills the cab. You know, this isn't the first time when we try to pick up a suspect and something awry has happened. You look around, sniff. Is it coming from outside? As soon as you see a free spot, you pull over and park. You freeze. Something or someone is in your taxi. A woman's voice resonates around the cab. I can't, I need a better signal. I'm here. I'm here. You turn around slowly. A young woman has appeared behind you. Don't shout. I'm afraid I'll lose the connection. I don't have much time. There's something strange about her face. It's as if she is several different people at once. Listen to me carefully. I come from the future, and you must know that you met. She stops moving, like a computer glitch. She stays this way, still, frozen. Then she suddenly starts moving again. They're extremists, totally crazy. Some try to get a hold of anything remotely technological, only to destroy it. They've gathered heaps of screens, keyboards, lamps to burn them. The fire lasts for days. Some days, the sky is filled with toxic soot, black ash. She shrugs. I'm lucky, I guess. I can remember what it was like before. The children, though. I feel most sorry for them. They're so lifeless. Sad. She looks at you. You look surprised, but... The image of her flickers, shakes. She raises her head to speak to someone outside the cab. What? They're getting closer. I don't know if I can stay much longer. I have to tell you one more thing. A few days ago, we got our hands on some newspapers from your time. She looks down. Everything we read seemed trivial. And it felt so good we laughed about it, even though deep down, I miss those debates, stories, the editorials. She lowers her voice. Especially the horoscopes. She doesn't say anything for a few seconds. You wanted to tell me something. Tell you something. Her face lights up. Yes. While we were reading through newspapers, we found some crucial information related to your investigation. She closes her eyes. Now don't try to. I can tell you much. But I need you to write down what I'm about to say. She disappears. A few seconds go by, and she doesn't come back. Hello? No answer. Silence reigns in the cab. Terrifying silence. Only now do you notice a strange smell floating in your taxi. A hospital smell. You park as soon as you find a free spot. You attempt to get a hold of yourself. The radio starts to crackle. Despite the interference, you make out the young woman's voice. I'm sorry. I can't come back. You hear someone scream in the background. They're taking our antenna apart. Shit. Watch the files. Not those, Raz, the other ones. Her voice sounds far away for a minute, then closer again. We had enough time to send you something. I don't know if it could be any help, but it's under the seat. Under the seat? No answer. Her voice suddenly stops. The radio starts playing like usual again. You turn your eyes to the passenger seat. How could she possibly have put something under the seat? Plus, you had the car washed. If you had... Look under the seat. You lean over towards the passenger seat. You feel around, and your fingers happen upon a file folder. You pull it out slowly. Scribbled on front in thick pencil are the words, "Thank you, Jay." You open it up. A newspaper clipping. The paper is yellowed, worn. At the top of the article, a date. The date is 2 years from now. You stop breathing as you start reading the clipping. You inhale. You smile. This will help you. Wow. I gotta know what that is. We gotta figure out what that is. So let's just go into the day now. Normally I would end the episode now, but I gotta know what that is. The cliffhanger will be too high. And then by the time we come back to it, I might forget about it. We're not gonna make much profit. If we made any profit. Yeah, see? No profit. You wipe your face. You're starting to feel sleepy. A bus goes by, making the walls shake. You take your shoes off before getting to work. Okay, let's figure out what this was. Was it this one? Victim escaped from Argentina in the 80s. Killer left message on the first 3 crime scenes. Bullet casings, heights. Killer knew the victims, researched them. No signs of violence. That's / execution. Interesting. What was the evidence? There was no evidence. Nothing new. I mean, there was something new up there that I just don't know what it is. Is it the killer was wearing black gloves? Maybe. Because I recall the rest of these, so it's gotta be one of these. But they're not connected to anything. Source cop, customer. Yeah, it has to be that one. Cops, cop. Okay, so this is the one that's weird. That we got from Janet. All these others we'll actually throw in the corner for now. This is the one that's weird. Let's end the night. The phone rings. You impulsively take a step back. It's the moment of truth. Hello? Hi. Ice cold. So? She heaves a long sigh. There's no background noise. She must not be at the station. I've got a name for you. Perfect. I'm listening. You glance at the wall. The suspects are all lined up. All the evidence. A whole mess of your ideas. Your stomach is in a knot. I don't have to remind you cannot get this wrong. I have a meeting in 2 hours with the district attorney and the chief of police. Even the Minister of the Interior will be in a corner of the room somewhere. Obviously, I'm thrilled. Oh, but I certainly don't want to put too much pressure on you. You can almost hear the smirk she must be wearing. You lay the receiver down on the table. Now you have to decide. It's decision time. You know, Hervé's really suspicious. Also, we must be at the end of the first scenario. Guess we're gonna finish it. Damn. It's used in the 70s, police gun on the report, killer have wrinkles on their skin. But it's only towards him. Killer's height was this, which is any one of these four. They're wearing black gloves, which could be any one of these four. Matches in crime scene, justice. Never arrested. Great football coach from victim 1. Killed in Algeria, man never arrested. Damn. You deserve this. From Piero and Hervé. First 3 victims, files, not part of the police leak. That was part of these 2. I don't think it's him. In truth, because each one of these is so different, any one of these 4 could be it. They could be all different people all together. So this is really interesting. So we're taking a wild guess. Victim 3 escaped from Argentina 80s. So this is saying that the individual is older, right? That kind of means it must be Paul. Retired cop, joined the police in 77. This will happen in the 80s. That's connected to Paul. So we actually should put that under Paul. I think it is him. Wish us luck. You pick up the phone back up and explain your choice to Lieutenant Busset. Why, how, the evidence, your sources. She listens without saying a word. You stop talking and catch your breath. Also, yeah, I didn't even realize that this is also connected to him as well. Look at that. The weapon kept in perfect shape by a professional, and the first 3 victims' files not part of the police leak. It has to be him. Okay. I'll buy it. It seems like a solid choice. I can fish around a bit to vet your information. She pauses. You can almost hear her nodding. I'll call you tonight. Try to get some sleep. She pauses. No way she's going to hang up on such a positive note. No, she's probably going to... It might be your last night of freedom. She snickers and hangs up. You put the phone down. You might as well be standing in the ice-cold emptiness of outer space. You decide to go to bed, to sleep. Best way to kill time. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You lie down in the sofa bed. Its frame creaks. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed, your body aches, and you are in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. You sigh when you think that in just a few hours, it'll all be over. You'll have answers. Buses will have her arrest. Paris will be peaceful again. But what about you? What will you do? You shake your head, and your mind wanders for a second. Your eyes close, and you can feel yourself drifting off. Until you hear a voice break out in the distance. Look, he's kicking the bucket. And then silence. You close your eyes without any idea where the voice is coming from. A second later, you're asleep. You open one eye. You had a hard night. Restless. You get the impression you've aged 5 years in a matter of hours. You get up quickly. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. At night 7, as it begins. Wow. It looks like we're going to be finishing this scenario today. You've barely gotten downstairs when you catch sight of Busset. Wish us luck, guys. She's leaning up against the door of your cab, eyes wide open, forehead creased. Get in. You obey. It's too early to react. She settles into the back seat, flashes a smile. Good news! You're right. Or at least the DA thinks your evidence is sufficient. No emotion in her voice. She's giving you the facts, nothing more. We're going to bring Fragonard in tonight. She nods. Her expression clouds over. I have trouble. She freezes. Fragonard is a mentor. Mine. And half the squad's. You can't understand. He's an institution. He's... She stops, clears her throat. I need your help. One last time. Later on tonight, we're going to Fragonard to leave home. And find a way to get him into your taxi. She pulls some kind of pen out of her pocket. And then she puts in the little cubby just above the car stereo. This is a bug. What do you need a confession? If you feel like it, if you think you can manage. I've seen you and heard you enough to know that you have a trick, a gift for getting people to talk. I need someone I can trust to get close to Fragonard without making him suspicious. He's a cop, he knows how we work. No one ever sent a taxi driver to make an arrest. He won't put up a fight. I hope he'll open up to you. That he'll confess before things fall apart. Not too far from the hospital where he goes for his treatments, there is an alleyway under construction. There won't be any civilians, just us and him. She sighs. Two teens walk by the cab, and the intense smell of weed fills the cab. Busset doesn't budge. I know you can do it. If you stick to the plan, nothing can go wrong. And what if there's a problem? If you stick to the plan, there won't be any problems. She lays her hand on the door handle. You pick the suspect up, drive to the meeting point, and you're free. Easy as pie. She gets out of the cab, slams the door, and walks quickly away. Shit. 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 You hit the dashboard. Intense pain spreads through your hand. You grab the keys and the ignition and turn. The motor comes on. Your night is about to begin. Your last night. Our last night. So it looks like with that, we will actually end our episode here. I don't see him around as of yet, but he will come by, and when he does, we'll have to pick him up. Hope you guys all enjoyed today's episode of Night Call. If you guys have, make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think of today's episode, of course. And if you're new to my channel, or have been watching me for a little while and you haven't done so, feel free to subscribe to me, MadSquash924, and don't forget to ring the bell to get notified for when a new episode comes out. And on the next episode is the final night of this scenario before we begin the next scenario, because I think there's 3 of them that we can do. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.